You are all welcome. We started the series last week and we are going to continue from where we stopped. We started talking about writing tasks, right? And we discussed writing tasks too. We talked about the types of tasks that we have all under writing tasks too. And we discussed one of them, we did a classwork. Today, we are going to continue from where we stopped. Thank you for joining us today. And joining us for the first time, welcome to the class. This is the Zoom class for overseas IELTS free tutorials, and we stream live on Zoom as well. So for as many as are joining us on Zoom, welcome this afternoon. Those that have been the regulars, you are welcome as well. I hope you have a great time in the class today. Oh, where's everybody? Is it raining where you are? Because it's raining here, seriously. Get through this. Just a quick, roundup of what we did last before we go into the business of the day. Last class, that was on Saturday, we talked about IELTS writing tasks too. And we discussed everything we should know at least about IELTS task 2, except for the question types that we have not finished with. That the writing task 2, the academic writing task 2, is to test your ability to write with a particular style, which is the academic style. And here you are going to write your information in your own words. You present whatever is before you in words. You have to write no more than 250 words. I did advise that. Please don't let it be more than 280 at most. This is because when you write too much, you are going to, making errors, okay? We also talked about the band descriptors, we listed them, we explained what they mean, and then we said that the IELTS test is going to last, the writing test is going to last for 1 hour. We're expected to write 2 tasks in writing, and the writing task 1 and then the writing task 2. Writing task 2 is what we discussed. We discussed like everything before now, but for the sake of the last class, we did writing task 2, we started with that. And there are various things that is expected of you, what the examiners rate you on. That's what we call the band descriptor. We listed them and explained that what they mean, okay, and how they can affect our scores, our band in the IELTS test generally. We said we had the task achievement or response, which talks about how you have completed your work. Okay, it talks about it's going to rate if you have written over 250 words, if you have satisfied all the requirements of the task and you've covered all parts of the topic, if you covered all parts of the question as well, and if you have been able to develop your point, and sometimes when you have given your examples as well. All these are marked under your task achievements or response. And then we discussed coherence and cohesion as well, where we say that it's about the sequence of your information and then your ideas, how you present your ideas logically, the use of your cohesive devices that are appropriate to that particular topic that you're writing on, and then your paragraphing, appropriate paragraphing. Usually we say that about three sentences make up a good paragraph, all right, not less than three sentences makes up a good paragraph and you should be able to join your sentences together. We talked about you having a clear progression throughout your work, how you move from one to the other, following the structure of the IELTS test, the IELTS writing task, where we said the writing task is that there are four paragraphs and where you have the introduction, your body paragraph one, body paragraph two, and your conclusion. You're not bringing conclusion before body paragraph two or one. You are not going to write an introduction at the end of the work. Instead, you write it first. That's all about a progression. And then another aspect of it is where you progress in the kind of question that you ask. For example, they ask you a question and they're talking about that you should discuss both view, where you discuss the first view, you discuss the second view, and then you give your own opinion as well. Not that you're going to start with your own opinion at the end, not that you are going to start with one side of the view that you are supposed to discuss at the end. And then not that maybe you are asked the question to discuss the causes and the consequences now, for instance, of a particular thing, and then you're going to discuss consequences before causes. There's usually a progression. You should move from A to B. That is what it's part of what coherence and cohesion is going to be rating you on. And then your repetition. If you repeat too much the same information too many times in your work, is going to reduce your marks. Okay, we talked about lexical resource. Lexical resource assesses, your vocabulary in terms of error and how well you can use advanced language to present your ideas. This means that you must use vocabularies that allow some form of flexibility and precision, and you must also use less common vocabularies. But as you use less common vocabularies, ensure that you use them in the context of the writing. Don't go looking for the meaning of a word that of a truth it is the meaning of that word or it can be used in place of that word. But in that context, it makes no sense. And also be aware of the academic style of writing as well. You avoid errors with your choice of words, avoiding errors with your word formation, spelling errors as well. It's going to reduce your mark if you have too many spelling errors in your work, okay? So yeah, when we talked about grammatical range and accuracies talk about how well you can use more advanced sentences to produce error-free write-up. Okay, it expects you to use a mixture of sentence forms. Like we have this complex, the simple, the compound, and then the complex sentences. In IELTS academic test, they're expecting you to use more of the simple and the complex sentence forms. Okay. And then for you to produce error-free, sentences, avoiding grammatical error as much as possible, avoiding errors also with your punctuations. We left there and we moved on to the structure of the writing task one, where we talked about the writing task one, task two, the structure of the writing task two. We talked about the writing task two having having four paragraphs, which is the first paragraph is the introduction, second is your first body paragraph, third is your second body paragraph, and then your fourth paragraph is your final paragraph or your conclusion. All right. Different forms of information are expected in all of these paragraphs, depending on the type of question that you have been asked. Your introduction, we said, is made up of your general statement on one side and then your specific statement. Your general statement is your question prompt that you have been given paraphrased using synonyms, while your specific statement is your assignment for the day. For instance, your specific statement may be that you should discuss both views and give your opinion. Your specific statement may be that you should discuss the consequences and the causes of a particular thing when you're writing a two-way question. And then your specific statement may be that whether you agree or disagree, or the extent to which you agree or disagree, or whether you think that the advantages outweigh the disadvantages. Your specific statement is your assignment that you have been given, what you are expected to do per time. And we did mention also that there are types of areas where you are going to be seeing your IELTS writing task through exam questions. There are different topics for the essays in the exam, but typical of them are education, innovations, crime, media, technology, okay, social issues. And we said that you should do yourself a favor by getting vocabularies around this topic so that when you're writing, it makes it really easy for you and you are able to like flow, and then you are able to write on time as well. Areas like our environment, maybe they will be talking about air pollution in the environment, talking about water pollution, talking about the green gases and the rest of them. It's very important, and it is much more convenient if you are able to build up vocabulary in these key areas so you can have sufficient language for your write-up. We went ahead to see the types of questions that you will see. There are many types of questions that you see in the IELTS writing task. So you can see argumentative essay, opinion writings, do you agree or disagree? But what I did was to arrange them in three forms, three types of questions is what we are going to be discussing. We have first of all is the opinion essay, and then we have both sides and opinion, and then we have the two-question essay. The opinion essay is where you will come up with, you will see questions like, what is your opinion? That's a type of question. You see questions like, do you agree or disagree? That's a type of question. You see questions like, to what extent do you agree or disagree? That's a type of question. Then you see questions like, do you think the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? That's also a type of question. Those kind of questions all fall under what we call the opinion essays. We discussed how you can plan an opinion essay, and we said that first of all, when you see a question, an opinion essay question, what do you need to do? You identify the keywords, and then you get your synonyms, and you decide what kind of response, whether it is agree or disagree, just agree or disagree, or whether they are asking you to, they're asking you the extent to which you agree or disagree. Sometimes you are expected to, like in both sides and opinion, you need to know the kind of question that they're asking you, so you know your work, your task, your specific task at that time. So you decide the kind of response based on your task, okay? Remember that when they ask you to what extent do you agree or disagree, they are asking you to either strongly agree or disagree, okay, or to somewhat agree or disagree. So it's either you strongly agree, you strongly disagree, or you somewhat agree or somewhat disagree. It depends on what the topic is, and it depends on how you have your points to give. I did mention in the last class, and I will still say it again, that irrespective of your previous knowledge or your belief about the topic, it is better for you to go with the side where you think you have more points to defend that. It's more like a debate, but this time around you're writing it. So whether you believe that what they are saying is true or not, and then maybe because you believe, you say, yes, it is true, and then you now agree. If you don't have enough points to back up, your argument, you may not get the band that you want. So if you think, or if you have noted that the other side is where you have more points, please keep aside your previous knowledge of the topic and go ahead, write and give your points and get your score and go your way. Another thing is for you to plan the structure of the given task. For example, you can itemize your points. Having brought your points out, having considered what points you are going to be writing about, you should itemize them from the strongest to the weakest. That way, you have what to present, and then everything is done in an orderly manner. There's a step to writing an opinion essay, and I did say already, I've discussed the steps, okay, but we'll just run through them. It's nothing difficult, it's just the introduction where you have your general statement and your specific statement together. After that, you move to your first body paragraph, okay? You move to your first body paragraph. In your introduction, take note of your synonyms and paraphrases, okay? In your introduction as well, after you have paraphrased the general statement, please say in your specific statement whether you agree or disagree, or just use the phrase, this essay will discuss my opinion. It is safer and it is better for you. State whether you agree or disagree. Go ahead to say the essay, we discuss your opinion. That way your examiner is on the lookout for your point to agree, if you say you agree. And then if you are going to make any mistake, please just leave that side out and make sure you just say that the essay will discuss your opinion. For you to get used to this, it is better for you to keep practicing, keep getting corrections. That way you will be able to, like, come up with the most convenient way for you to write a proper introduction. All right. Then when you get to the body of your opinion essay, after you have written the introduction, you will need 2 body paragraphs. All right. For those opinion kind of essays, I will suggest that you should have at least 2 main ideas. 2 main ideas. You know why? Because you are going to be writing 2 paragraphs. So if you put 2 main ideas together in one with an example, and in the next one as well, 2 main ideas with an example, and then your conclusion, at the end of the day, you start to get a better mark than somebody who has put just 1 idea in those paragraphs. Body paragraph 1 is where you give me your strong points if you are agreeing or disagreeing. All right, give me 2 strong points and give me an example. Then in body paragraph 2, you need one of your points and then a concession, like a point against your own strong point. That way, you are not only just answering the question as per protocol, but you're making your examiner to know that although I am agreeing that this and this and this is like this, okay, but I do also know that this also is part of the other side. So it shows that you are vast in your knowledge of the topic, and it shows that you do know what you're talking about. It shows that you're not biased, all right, in your answer. Okay, we did a class work, and then your conclusion. Let me just run through the conclusion, okay? The conclusion before we go. In order to write an excellent conclusion, you should start by using a phrase that signals that you're concluding, all right? It should show that you're coming to an end. Then restate the position to reinforce it in the mind of the examiner. After this, you should summarize the main point again that you have made in the body of the essay, because it is a standard feature of a concluding paragraph, and it will remind the examiner of your key points and make your opinion much more persuasive. So finally, if you want to write, okay, if you want to write a very, very outstanding conclusion and you have enough time, you could give a final comment based on your summary. But if not, if you are short of time, just try and conclude, write down your main points and go your way. If you are aware that you are running out of time when writing the body of the essay, please try to finish the body quickly and at least write something for your conclusion, because an essay without a conclusion shows that your task is not achieved and you can reduce your band score for it. So if you do not have some sort of concluding paragraph, the essay will be incomplete and your examiner may penalize you for cohesion, for coherence also, and for task completion. All right, so it will also make it difficult to get a high score for your task response, as I said, because the concluding part is what? It is very, very, very important in accessing you on a general note. Send a signal that you are concluding your essay. And what phrases did we say you should use? In conclusion, is universally accepted, all right? Or conclusively is universally accepted. Don't go and say in a nutshell. Sentences like in a nutshell, me, I'm against it personally because they don't fit in, all right? They don't fit in for maybe like in questions like both sides and opinion, okay, because you will have your own conclusion. You need to have your own opinion. It's not a summary. It's not a summary. If it was just a summary, like in what is it called, in 2 question essay, if it was just a summary and you say in a nutshell, it may be acceptable. So I do believe that it's better to have a standard phrase that you can use for all your 3 essays, to avoid the need to keep remembering the different ones, for each of the types of essays so you can apply it correctly. It's better for you to have one. If you say conclusively or in conclusion, it means that you are concluding. Concluding on what? Concluding on my agreement and disagreement. Concluding on what? Concluding on my opinion about whether I think advantages outweigh the advantages. Okay, the disadvantages. Concluding on what? Concluding on the causes and the consequences, or concluding on the causes and the solutions, depending on what kind of question you are facing at that point. Any question? Any question? I'll just tell you about some common mistakes that you should avoid, and then we go to the next one. Common mistakes that you need to avoid in opinion essay, generally. Unclear opinions is a very, very common error. It's advisable to choose totally to agree or to totally disagree, as to somewhat agree or somewhat disagree. Because when you somewhat agree or disagree, you will be confusing yourself in the middle of the writing. All right. Some people also choose the wrong side to argue. Like in the last classwork that we did, some people chose the wrong side to argue. What do I mean by this? You tell me you agree from your introduction, and in your points, you are giving me points that disagree. Or you tell me you disagree from your introduction, and in your main points now, you are giving me points that shows that you agree. Please stick to one side of the opinion. Do not contradict your opinion with your body paragraphs, all right? Concession errors. To choose to totally agree or disagree is easier for you to structure, reducing the cohesion and, coherence errors. You know, like in debate, you are less likely to argue against yourself, and it is far easier to have a concession. So some people have these concession issues because of that. Previously, I did give an assignment on on the topic that I said, there's a high demand for interaction between children in schools, despite the diversity in their languages and in their culture. Some are of the opinion that all children should study a foreign language in school, starting from the earliest grades. The question was, do you agree or disagree? And the second part of the question, or the second question was, to what extent do you agree or disagree? And then I remember telling you that you need to choose one of them to write. This is because I wanted you to have a taste of what when they ask an extent is, and then when you are writing a straight question like, do you agree or disagree? You should spend not more than 40 minutes on this task, and you should write not less than 250 words. And give me reasons for your answer, including any relevant example. I must say that from the feedback I got on that particular question, it was great making you to write, because many of us made some errors, which I have corrected. I've corrected over 75% of that particular assignment. Some have rewritten again, and then I've gone through it as well. If you have not, well, I will advise that you can do it for yourself. And if I have not gone through your work, but you have sent it before today, I'm going to go through that work and make the correction, so you can know exactly what to do or what to write per time. That question was for you to either agree or disagree, okay? Or to write to what extent you agree or disagree. That was the question. And that is the question that we have used as our at our opinion essay sample. Okay. Today we will move to something else. And that is both sides and opinion. We're going to be discussing both sides and opinion. If you came into this class, it is a visual class, and so I expect you to have your videos on place. One of our rules, if you went through the write-up before you join the class is that you should have your video on. And if you can't have your video on, for whatever reason, we do understand. We are not forcing you to show your face, or maybe it's possible you're at work or you're in a bus or you're in a place where you can't have a video on. We agree with you and we do understand. But please don't join the Zoom class, because when you do that, we are expecting that you would have read through our terms and conditions and agreed to have your video on, and that's why you're here. You can also join us on YouTube. This lesson or these tutorials is running live on Zoom as we speak. So if you're on Zoom, you can still watch us. You can still participate. The only thing is you may have a question that I can't see at the moment. But when I go to YouTube, when I go to YouTube, I will go over those questions and write an answer for you at the end of the day. That's just the only difference. And I think that method is better if you can't have your video on. So please put your video on, or you will excuse us and join the YouTube class. It's our rule, is part of the ground. In fact, it's one of the ground rules here. Please. Gabriel Olajumoke, if you put your video on, please. If not, I'll forcefully remove you from the class. And if you come back again without your video, you may be banned from attending this class on Zoom. I'm sorry, I'm not being harsh. I'm just trying to maintain, we need to have rules, please. Thank you very much. I see some of you are first timers. It's part of our rules to have our videos on. You are welcome to the class, Jumoke. You are welcome, Olisa. You are welcome, Gabriel. Thank you for joining us today. So far, we've been talking about writing task 2, and we have discussed one part of the question type. We are going to the next one. If you join us from where we are now, the point where we are today, you can continue from there. And if you think you need any other thing that we said has been discussed before, you can go to the YouTube class and then the YouTube videos, and you find all of them there. This class is a continuation of what we started last week. And I've just finished running through what we did last week. So we are going to continue now. Thank you. Today, we are talking about both sides and opinion. It's a type of question, all right? It's a type of IELTS Task 2 question. This type of essay tests your ability to discuss two sides of an argument and to also give your opinion at the end. You support your opinion with logical reasons, all right? So for you to score very well in this kind of question, you need to argue both sides of the argument very, very clearly. And you also need to give your opinion. There are question types that you will find here. One of them is for you. You see a question that says, discuss the advantages and the disadvantages and give your opinion. Discuss the advantages and the disadvantages and give your opinion. Or discuss both sides of this argument and then give your own opinion. In one of the classes, we had a discussion on this, and we talked about the proliferation, that's the increase, all right, of private cars in many parts of the world. Some people think that this is a positive trend, while others assume that there are negative consequences. So this question is asking you to discuss both views and give your opinion. When you have a discuss both view to give your opinion kind of question, what do? It is very, very important for you to realize that every task contains a topic and a question. So you must fully address both the topic and the question for you to score a band 6 and above, for you to score 6.5, 7, 7.5 up to 9. Okay, so when you have a question, you need to identify which one is the topic, all right, and which one is the question. Which one is the topic and which one is the question. For instance, what we had now, the question I just asked now, the topic, okay, is that there has been an increase in proliferation, okay? Proliferation of private cars is the topic. And the question is asking you to discuss whether it is good or whether it is bad. This is because some people think that it's a good thing and some people think that there are consequences, there are negative consequences. And your question is saying that you should discuss both views and then give your opinion. How do you answer this kind of a question? Like we did for opinion essay, you need to underline keywords and to identify your synonyms. Synonyms are words that have the same meaning or nearest in meaning with the words you are looking for. And then you go ahead with your paraphrase. When you paraphrase a question or a statement, you present that statement in a different way, but you did not change the meaning of the statement. So you need to decide what kind of response that is needed. Here, you have to discuss both sides. Unlike in the opinion essay, where you have to either agree or disagree. But here, it's expecting you that you must answer both sides of this question. And then you have to give your opinion as well. So what and what are you expected to do here? You are expected to do three things. You discuss both the consequences, the good side, okay, the positive trend, and then you discuss the consequences of that particular topic, and then you also give your own opinion. So three things is what you are expected to do here. Going by the structure of the writing task 2, like we have explained before, for your introduction, for this kind of question, what do you do in your introduction? Paraphrase the question. Given that you've already rephrased the keywords, okay, you have marked your keywords and you have synonyms for them. In your planning stage already, you should, go ahead to write the statement, to write the same question in a different way with same meaning. This is showing your examiner that you have an ability, a rare ability to use language, flexibly, and this can increase your score for vocabulary. When we're talking about vocabulary, we are talking about, your words, to explain whatever you're doing or writing. All right. So you need to change some of the words. You change the words. So you have to change some nouns to verbs depending on what is there. Whatever word you use, make sure that at the end of the day, the statement that you're making has not changed. The meaning has not changed from the original statement or question that you had. Okay? So what is the essay about? You need to say it. You need to say what the essay is about. You need to discuss what the essay is about. We're going to discuss one of those questions in this class. Then you move to your body paragraph. Here, please, in your introduction, as much as possible, please keep your opinion away from your introduction. In writing task 2 opinion kind of questions, we did say that you should state your point. You should tell me whether you agree or disagree in your introduction if you can. Here, please keep your opinion away from your introduction. All right. So what phrase are you going to use? Say first, this essay will discuss both sides of the argument and give my opinion. That way, the examiner knows that you are going to be discussing both sides of the argument and that you are going to say your opinion. So she's on the lookout for one side, second side, and then your opinion. Those are the things she's going to be looking out for in your entire write-up. In your body of the paragraph, after you have written the introduction, you will need exactly 2 body paragraphs. This is about the easiest, okay? It's about the easiest form of question. For me, it's about the easiest because here, you won't miss words. You will not write different things. You just pick one side and write, then you pick the other side, write again, and in your conclusion, you just conclude, on both of the sides. Pick the main points from your first and second body paragraph and write about them in your conclusion, then give your opinion. That's it. That's it. I suggest putting exactly 2 main points in each of your paragraphs because a good paragraph should only have at most 2 main ideas. 1 main idea, 2 main ideas. And because we are talking about writing here where you need more points, you should have 2 points for each of your paragraphs. So after this, you have 2 main points, to support both sides. That's what it means, right? You have 2 points to support consequences. On the other side, you have 2 points to support the positive trend. So in order to keep the size of your essay manageable, you must choose to have you know, like major and minor points in your paragraph. So the main point may use like two or three sentences, and the minor one can take 2 sentences. That way you have at most 5 sentences together in your body paragraph. So we are going to write 1, but I'll just explain the conclusion as well so that we can do it and flow together. When you have a conclusion, the conclusion for this kind of essay, I did mention something earlier, that the most universally acceptable phrase is "in conclusion" or the word "conclusively." In conclusion or conclusively. Don't go saying "in a nutshell," to sum up, to round up, please. In conclusion is acceptable, and if everybody in an exam use the words "in conclusion" and the phrase, nobody is going to penalize you and say you copied, because that is what is generally accepted. Okay? It's unlike our primary school exam where if we write the same words, they say we have copied each other. This is more like a senior exam, and there's a plan, there's an outline, there's a protocol for writing. So if you follow that protocol, they are going to score you your band that you will deserve. For your conclusion, what did I say you should do? Signal the start of your final statement. Use phrases like "in conclusion" or "conclusively." That's what I said. State that both sides of the argument have merits. All right, you need to say that those 2 sides are important. All right, then you will now say which side you conclude. How do you say which side is important, that both sides are important? It's by you stating it. You need to write about them. When you leave it out of your conclusion, it means that you do not value it, and that is the reason why you have forgotten about it. Please avoid the mistake of putting your opinion in the introduction or in the body paragraphs. You need to also write enough for your introduction. Please write enough for your introduction. Having said that, let's go back to that question and solve it in this class. Okay. Based on the structure of the writing task 2 that we have just done, and then having known how to write a both side and an opinion kind of essay in this class, the question is, I know some have written it before. The question is, there has been an increase in the use should we do it again? All right. There has been an increase in the use of computers for learning. Some people think that this is a positive trend. While others assume that there are negative consequences. Full stop. Discuss both views.
Please,
and give
please,
your...
I didn't get the question.
Amaka, were you sleeping?
I didn't get the question.
There has been an increase in the use of computers
for learning. Some people think that this is a positive trend, while others assume that there are negative consequences. Discuss both views and give your opinion. Discuss both views and give your opinion. Your introduction should tell me a general statement paraphrased, your specific statement as well. Your body paragraph should be only about the positive trend, the advantages, the merits, the good things about the use of computer in learning. Your second body paragraph should tell me about the negative consequences, the disadvantages, the demerits, the bad side, the negatives of using computers to learn. Your conclusion should tell me your main points, the good things about using computers, the bad things about using computers, and what side you support. In your conclusion, the first statement should be about the other side. The second statement should be about the negatives. Then you need to tell me which side you want and why. Do you understand? Is anybody confused? Nobody is confused. Now,
Please, ma, can you repeat yourself? Conclusion.
Please, ma, can you repeat it?
repeat what?
Before the first paragraph,
The positive point, top the main points in the box.
Amaka, what is distracting you in this class?
No, I'm not getting what you guys say. I'm sorry, ma.
What do you want me to repeat?
Okay, ma. I just want you to tell me in conclusion what you expect. You said you should tell me the main points, the positive one, the first, the positive one, and the negative one. So,
and then give me your opinion. Tell me which side you support and why do you support that side?
Okay, ma'am.
Do you understand now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any other confusion?
please, ma, the paraphrase, I don't understand what you said. How to go about it?
What? You don't understand what I mean by paraphrase?
I understand what it means, as in what I'm going to put under it. That's what I'm asking.
Do you know how to write an introduction?
No, not very well.
An introduction is made up of your question prompt, your general statement, and your specific statement together. All right?
Okay.
Your general statement and your specific statement together. That's what makes up your introduction. And in that general statement, what you're going to be writing is you are writing about the question that you have been given, paraphrased. And in paraphrasing it, you use synonyms. In other words, you give me or state the question in a different way. You don't have to use my own words. I have explained how you can do that by telling you you need to underline keywords. Then you need to make that statement with the keywords that you have identified. And in the course of you identifying your keywords, you need to be very careful. The keywords, the synonyms that you get, that's because not all synonyms of a particular word are suitable in the situation where you are per time. So you need to know which you can use in the context that you're referring to, okay? So the first step is to identify keywords, get synonyms for them, paraphrase your general statement, put in your specific statement, put full stop, and that is your introduction. First body paragraph, write about the good sides, the positives, the advantages, the merits of using computers to learn. Second body paragraph, write about the disadvantages, the demerits, okay, the negative consequences of using computers to learn. In your conclusion, give me a summary of your first and second body paragraph, then tell me your opinion. Do you understand now? Where is she? She has left the class. Anyway, you have 3 minutes to think on your structure, and you have 10 minutes to write, and you are writing it directly. You are posting it in chat to everybody. Let's go. The time starts now. Adenike Fidosi, if you put your video on, please, or I may be forced to remove you from the class. If you are just joining us, please, it's a visual class. You need to have your video on. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Are we started?
Yes, the class has started.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. We have a class task. That's why I'm quiet. We have a class task and everyone is on it now. Jay. If you don't have the question, I just typed it to everyone. Good. If you have finished your introduction, please continue with the other side, the other part of the essay. If you are following us online on YouTube, I expect that you should also do this. Please also follow, participate in this assignment. When I get back there, probably later today, I'll see what you've done and then I'll give you your feedback. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you. Tony Dosum, if you check through what we are doing here, you will find that there's a class assignment going on. Ewoma Zino as well. There's a class assignment going on in the chat to everyone where I had typed. And the question says that there has been an increase in the use of computers for learning. Some people think that this is a positive trend, while others assume that there are negative consequences. Discuss both views and give your opinion. We've been talking about the different types of task two questions that you can see, and we are presently on discussion of both views and your opinion. This is the classwork that we are doing presently. Whatever stage you can join, please join us and write this. Secondly, do also put your video on. In this class, we said it's a visual class. If you are joining us on Zoom, you must have your video on, or we will take you out and you can watch on YouTube. We do understand that not everybody will want their faces to be seen, or not everybody will want to have their videos on, or are in a situation where they can have their videos on. If you can't, there's no problem. Please just join us on YouTube. And when you think you can have your video on, as your situation changes, please join us on the Zoom classes. Thank you very much. If you don't have your video on, I'm going to take you out of the class. Okay, our time is up. I've seen some very, very impressive write-up here, and I must give it to you. Okay. Christiana Okoye, please put your video on. If you don't have your video on, I won't say any other thing. I'll take you out of the class. All right, pens up. Stop writing. It's okay. Well done. Steven, read your work. Steven, I've asked you to unmute.
Sorry, my network
Your network is bad.
is
But you didn't send in your work. You can't read it, and it means you are not participating.
frustrating.
It means you are not participating. You didn't type your work. At least network should allow you type and send. Your work is not here, and you didn't type it, and you can't say it. At the end of the day, well, it's up to you though. Okay, so I see some people are at work. Vivian Uzoma, can you please read your work? Read me your introduction.
Studying with electronic device is on the high side. A lot of persons believe it is an advantageous approach, whereas the rest see it as detrimental. This essay will discuss both opinion as well as my view.
You have turned it upside down. But it's okay. Thank you very much. Now I have a problem. That's why I asked you to read it. Because if you're typing, from your typing, I can see errors. Whereas you have put where and as separately. Please, in your writing, do not, for whereas is a word, is one word together, whereas, okay? Make sure it's together, don't separate them. Studying with electronic devices on the high side. Studying with electronic devices is on the high side. Your studying should start with a capital letter. All right, it should be caps lock as you type.
Okay.
And this your introduction is rather too short. It is too short. It means I want you to open up. Okay, you are too tight. Open up, be more expressive. Do you understand?
Yes,
More
ma'am.
expressive. Don't just, you are not writing like short sentences. Go about it with, some form of freedom in your expression. That way you can make, because if you write like this, and then the next point as well, first body paragraph, your 2 points, you just state them like this without developing them, without opening them up. You are going to have good points, but a bad write-up at the end of the day, because one, you won't meet up your word counts. Two, you have not developed your main points. And three, you're not going to have the band score that you require. So you need to loosen up a little bit. Widen your horizon. Look for more words. Don't be afraid of committing errors. That's the reason why there is this class. If you had written for me, if you had opened up and you had made mistake, I would be able to say, okay, let's correct you together. But at the end, your hands are tight. You are tight-fisted with your English, with your use of words. You have carefully selected what to say. Let me say it like this so that they will not say this one. No. If you don't open up, you don't know how you can make mistakes and be corrected. Widen your horizon more, all right?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Esther Nkwacha, I didn't see your write-up, so read it out for me. Thank you.
These days, it has become incredible in the usage of computer for studying, although there are different views concerning its advantages and disadvantages. This essay will discuss both opinion and my own opinion.
Okay, thank God. You know what, you have made a mistake there. You are laughing at yourself. This essay will discuss both opinion and my own opinion. You know what it is. It's wrong, all right? Okay? The essay may be discussing both assumptions because from every look of things, both of them are assumptions, aren't they? None of them have been able to prove that it is highly advantageous, and none of them have been able to give us any disadvantage of it. All right. So now, although there are advantages, although some people think that it is bad, or some people think that it is good, whatever it is, I have an opinion, and this essay will be talking about my opinion. In essence, that's what you are trying to say. The beginning of your statement again, please say it again.
These days, it has become incredible in the usage of computers
Good.
for studying.
These days, it has become incredible. How? What has become incredible? These days, the use of electronic devices is incredibly higher. If you had used that, it would be a perfect way to start. All right? It's incredibly higher. It has been on the increase. There's a surge, all right? There's an upside, as in there's an increase, okay, in the use of electronic devices for learning or in studying or in education. I told you from the beginning that there are various question topics that you will find. I did talk about education, and now you're seeing learning. So you should have built your vocabulary around education, studying, learning. That way, when it's time to use the words, you won't be missing words or looking for them. You need to have a basket full of these vocabularies. You need to keep it handy, really handy, okay? So that as soon as you see the question, you just pick from them and you use them. Okay? You pick and you use. Marian, I don't know why your video is off. You pick and you use. Many of you missed the first step when I said that you should get keywords, underline keywords, get synonyms. Because from some of the write-up here, even though I'm impressed with many of them, there are still some that are giving me word for word what is in the question prompt. It shouldn't be. It means you don't have your own initiative. Remember that the purpose of the writing task 2 is for you to present the ideas in your own language, present the information using your own ideas. So you don't have to copy the question word for word. Be expressive. Be like a child. And that's the reason why we have this learning together, so that you can know the various ways of saying things differently, okay? That you still make meaning, or you maintain the meaning. The original meaning is not changed. So Esther, your introduction, you have seen where your error is. That's the reason why you must write it out. And if you don't write it out, I will bring you out so you can say it. Let's even know what's in your mind. The more you say it out or express yourself, the better it is for you as you get corrected and you move on. All right?
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome. Okay. I saw a very impressive one. There has been an upsurge in the usage of electronic devices in education. I'm in a class. How are you? A portion of people are of the opinion that this is a good trend, even though I wanted you to use something else instead of trend. Okay? Can I have another word in place of trend, please? Go to Google, look for the meaning of trend, get other words for trend. While others object to this assertion, to this assumption, that's good. This essay will discuss both views and my opinion. The question says discuss both views and give your opinion. What is an opinion? What is your own opinion? When you say an opinion, what is that? Your assumption, your own conclusion.
My view.
Your view. So please, other words. Thank you. I saw another one that is quite impressive, though with bits and bits of corrections here and there. There has been a rise in the use of electronic devices for studying. Full stop. For studying. Full stop. Your next statement starts with what? A capital letter after space. Writing with computer is different from writing with your pen and paper. That's why many of us must, as much as possible, try to write this exam before they go computer-based in Nigeria and in most of the African countries. In Cameroon now, they are doing computer-based. Though there's still room for some paper-based, but they have already launched their computer-based tests. The next step, the next thing starts after a full stop, there's space, then a capital letter. Some people think, what was my question prompt? Some people think. So you went to go and pick my phrase. Get something else in place of some people think. Many individuals, all right, some persons, some individuals, some assume that a certain group of individuals think or say or assume or believe. Okay? Don't use my words. So if you use my words, I'm going to subtract those words from me that I gave you, and you are less by 3 words. That's what I'll do if I'm your examiner. It is a welcome development, while others argue that there are unwanted outcomes. Outcomes. Okay, outcomes, please. If I take you out because your video is not on and you join and you still don't have your video on, I'll block you from my class. Okay, who wrote that one? I can't even remember. Okay, others argue. This essay will discuss both sides and give my opinion. Both sides of what? Both sides of the argument. Okay? You can even say that this essay will discuss the advantages and disadvantages and give my opinion. Then give my opinion. Because they are talking about the good sides and the bad sides, isn't it? So if you know what exactly it is and you can pick the words, get the words, please say it. Uzoma, you have said your own. What is the problem? Your face is squeezed and you are talking to yourself there. Are you confused?
I'm at work talking to a patient. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. It is well with you. Those are some of the privileges that we enjoy in Nigeria that you can't try here. If you're at work here, you can't do any other thing. You need to face your job. Sometimes in some places, you can't even use your phone. You leave it in your bag until after work. And that's why we have missed calls, sometimes missed chats, and they think because she dey UK or he dey UK, you don't think say he don't arrive. You know the answer person call. No be like that. It's a job. When you get here, you will understand. Chinwe Olisa, read your own for me. Chinwe Oku. I've asked you to unmute. There's so much noise in your background. If you can minimize it, it will really be fine.
All you need to do is find the transmutation formula in his memory.
Okay. Maureen, did you write an introduction for me?
Yes, ma, I did.
But I can't find it.
No, not I didn't write. I didn't post it. I wrote
Fine,
it on
go
my
ahead.
book.
Read it out.
Okay, the use of internet in places of study is significantly high. Majority of individuals believe that is a good outcome. Other individuals dismiss the idea. This essay will discuss both points and give my stand.
Both points is wrong. What is the point? All right, point is wrong. You have your phones with you, and I told us some time back that we need to use the internet. Look for synonyms. If you check these words in the dictionary, when you open, nobody uses dictionary now again. Everybody has dictionary in their phones, on their computers. Growing up, I remember my mother is a teacher, and worst of all, she used to teach English at some point, English social studies. To speak wrong English was a crime. To write wrong English was a crime. Teachers are very, very passionate about their kids, no matter what they teach. You write her a letter, she will read your letter, okay? She will correct your letter with spellings, correct spellings, put an extra sheet in your letter to you, post it back to you, and ask you to correct that letter in the next letter you're writing. So every letter you write, there are always two letters, the correction to the previous and this one that you're writing, which I found that I discovered it was really a good thing and it helped. Now, why did I divert? What I'm trying to say is she will make you go to the dictionary to look for the meaning of the word and the context in which the word was used. I don't think she really understood what she was doing. I don't know. But it's now that I understand what she was doing. If you have access to a dictionary, you can still use dictionary. If you have one, I still have Oxford Advanced Learners. You can open it. When you see that word, there are sentences that will be made at the end. If you are a dictionary user, you will understand what I'm saying. Sentences are made, which means that these words, the synonyms of these words can be used in this context to say these things like this. That's what you should do also on your phone. That way you won't make mistakes. That way you will not commit so much grammatical errors in your writing. It helps. I tell you the truth, it helps. It helps a lot. So the words you are using, your words, you need to put them in the right places. Maureen, I want you to write it. Write it. Esther, write it correctly. Write the correct one. Who again did we correct in this class? Vivian, write it again. Write it again. Be more expressive this time, like I tried to explain. Most of the introductions I'm seeing here are very, very, very fantastic. Can I use that word? There has been increasing usage. There has been increasing usage of automatic data processing machine. Oh boy. For learning. Some quarters are of the opinion that this is a good development, while others see it as having unwanted effect. This essay will examine both sides and give my opinion. So you are going to examine, you are not going to discuss. Auntie? You are not examining, no. Don't even know the name. You are going to discuss, so please. You are discussing, okay? All right. And then that your beginning is to the grammar. Automatic data processing machines. Wow. Let me even start from the beginning. There has been increasing usage is wrong English. You can say that there has been an increase in the usage of, all right, or in the use of machines, electronic machines. Why not say that? Huh? I don't really see it as automatic. The reason is because you need to put in something to get something. Is it not giggle? Garbage in, garbage out. You need to give it an information for it to process, then you get a response at the end. So it's a machine, it's a processing machine, yeah? Computers. And when you hear computers, please let your mind go to your phones as well. The Android phones that we have, those are mini computers. They are mini devices that they use in learning. Many of us, more than half of this class, are using their phones for this class. Now, if you are using your phone, let me prove it to you. Are you using your phone? Let me see your hand. Using your phone, 1, 2, 3. If you are using your phone, let me see your hand. You see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Amaka, you're not using your phone. So you see what I'm saying? The truth is, your phone is a mini device. Okay, so it's a device. It's a computer device. It's an electronic device, rather. Okay, so you can use electronic machines, you can use computer devices, you can use phones, the use of phones, or you can even, when you're in the course of your explanations, you can say Android phones are used, you know, in the course of your examples and all of that. You can cite those. I'm concentrating on your information, on your introduction, because if you don't have a good introduction, you put the examiner off. First impression matters. I keep saying it. You put them off, and if they don't read it well, at the end, you may not get the mark that you want. So please, you need to work on your introduction. Go online, okay? For instance, go online today, type out both sides and opinion essays kind of questions, or both views kind of questions, and you will see it come out. There will be many of them that will come out for you, both from IELTS Leads, from Buddy, from from Mati, from many of those IELTS tutors that have been able to upload something. And if I have uploaded something on the internet about that particular question, mine too will be among them. So you will see there are many things will come up for you, and you can pick them just to practice the introductions. I didn't have much time to practice, but I know that I took out my time to practice, you know, bits and bits. When I was packing and I was coming, I saw a book, a jotter that I had used almost 1/3 of it just for synonyms. I was looking for synonyms of different words. As I come across the word, I write it down and start looking for the synonyms. All this I did in a space of 2 weeks or so before I wrote my exam. So please, you need to practice, you need to rehearse. Practice writing introduction even when you are not asked. Okay? As you write report, your report, let there be a change. Let it show that you are studying IELTS. Let it affect your report writing. Since I started teaching IELTS, like proper teaching IELTS, properly teaching IELTS, even my writing skills have changed. So you need to help yourself. Okay? Tony, you need to rewrite this again. I'm not comfortable with all of this big grammar here. It's not helping me. Please. In recent times, there has been an argument. Okay? There has been an argument, or if you want to use argument, then there should be an S, or an argument on the rise of the use of internet. internet devices for online study. No. When you use internet or you use devices, don't say online studying again, because we do know that when you use them, this is what you do for them. You can use just for studying, please. Okay? You need to be careful in the course of looking for words to use, so you don't do, repeat same information. And in places in your word, in the course of your writing, where you are supposed to use internet or devices or online studying, at the end, because you have jam-packed everything in your introduction, you will want to avoid them in your body, the body of your writing. And you need them. You need these words. At the end, you run out of words to use. Don't pack everything and say, hey, I must impress my examiner. No, Joy said first impression matters. That's not what I mean, no. That's not what I mean. Please. So you need to improve. Who has your mic on mute that is making noise? All right. Faster and more fun. Good. I'm seeing the body paragraph already. The use of electronic device makes studying easier, it's faster, and it's more fun. It helps learners to do some current search using Google and other websites in their for their assignments. Assist or makes easier to do some. Ooh. I told you 2 main ideas now. Pick 2 main ideas. Pick 2 main ideas. You are writing too many things. If you are talking about how it makes studying faster, give me the reason why it makes it faster and easier. If you say it is easier, how is it easier? If you say it is faster, that's when your example will come in. You'll be like, for instance, okay? So if you pick one of the sentences, pick one of the reasons, make a sentence with it, develop that sentence, give me an example, write the other one. Instance, studying IELTS from the confines. Go and look for the spelling of confines. From the confines or from the comfort.
Comfort, please. It's supposed to be comfort. It's a mistake, sorry.
Okay, how will I know it's a mistake now? There's an
I'm sorry, I saw it. I wanted to correct it, I could not.
There's an English word that is conform. So if I now say, okay, that's what she's saying, I use wrong use of word, and then I mark you wrong. I don't know if you understand the point I'm trying to make.
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you.
The
importance of computers in the educational system cannot be overemphasized. Computers have made learning a lot easier. Some people may no longer need to be in the physical classrooms to learn, as it may not be convenient, but with electronic devices, anybody can queue into the online class. I was so impressed with this writing until can queue in and have lectures. Why not say anyone can access? Marian.
Yes, ma.
Why not say anyone can access instead of this Dogonturenchi? That's what I'll call it.
I'll correct it, ma.
Good. More so. This is fine. Furthermore, in addition, computers have made research work a lot faster. So you see, she's talking about ease and speed. You have picked ease and speed as your points. These 2 ideas, she has given me an instance, an example where you can study from, instead of attending a physical class, you can now study anywhere in the world. I've made research work a lot faster, as one may not need to go to the physical libraries. You have used physical class, then physical library, auntie?
I'll correct it, ma, because of.
Okay. So you need to work on that. And then I saw there has been a surge in the use of data processing devices. For what? For education. There has been a surge in the use of data processing machines for education. Some individuals assume that it is a useful trend, whereas others think that they are indefinite outcomes. That's a wrong choice of words. Please have a rethink. This essay will discuss both opinion and my views as well. Okay, please. Who else? Let me see. Correction. There has been a rise in the use of electronic devices for studying. A group of people see it as a welcome development, while others argue that there are bad outcomes. This is good. This essay will discuss the merits and demerits of this argument and give my view. Now, this is more like it. It's not excellent yet, but it's more like it. At the end, in this introduction, you have covered all the sides. So from every look of things, I am now going to be looking for the merits and the demerits in your body paragraphs. And I'm going to be looking for your view in your write-up as a whole. So it's now left to you to prove to me that you know what you're doing by writing the merits, advantages, and writing the demerits, disadvantages, negative outcomes, and then telling me that this is what you believe. This is the side you are supporting. Remember that your view eventually will be on one of them, okay? Your view will be one of them because it's either you agree that there's negative side or you disagree that there's the positive side. This is close to you writing disagree or agree, all right? It's close to it, but what they did to you is to like switch something in the question and make it kind of look confusing just to make it a different type of essay entirely. But the information you are giving for agreeing and disagreeing or disagreeing is almost the same, just that you have one more point added and one more point subtracted. If you are writing, if I say there has been an increase in the use of computers for learning, and some are of the opinion, some people think that this is a good trend. Do you agree or disagree? To what extent do you agree or disagree? You are eventually going to be talking about the advantages of using a computer if you agree, and then you will give me a concession about the disadvantage of using a computer for your second body paragraph if you were writing an opinion essay. So you see that all of these things are interrelated, they are all interconnected in a way. All right? So yes, Uchenna, that's more like it, but you need to loosen up a little bit and make it richer. You can open up to some extent. That way you have more words. If you can, it's really, really good. So with this introduction, don't write any message to me, please, privately. Please write to the class. Correct my introduction. Thanks, ma. I've not seen your introduction. If I get there, I'll correct it. The use of computer, however, has its negative consequences. When the use of computer is abused, it can expose the youth to immoral acts and fraudulent activities. You are to discuss the positive trend, first of all. You have a good point in this point you are listing for your second body paragraph. That should be on the disadvantages. That should be on the negative consequences. And the question
That's what I did now.
Where is this first one? I've not seen the first part.
I sent it different. I sent the first one before that one. That's good. My second paragraph.
Okay, that's good. Your second body paragraph, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's look for it.
Yes.
The use of computer has been on the increase with both its positives and negative trends. This essay will discuss the use of computer is good because it broadens one's knowledge about the internet and makes learning easier, unlike mobile phone that is limited. I just said it that mobile phone is it's a type of computer. So have a rethink. Okay, have a rethink on this your first body paragraph and write it again. Meanwhile, it gives knowledge about the internet. Are you a cyber cafe, a cyber whatever person that is giving you knowledge about what knowledge about the internet do you need? I'm talking about the benefit of this knowledge about the internet that you have now, not the knowledge of the use of internet, please. Do you understand the logic there? I'm talking about what you can gain from having this knowledge of internet. What can you gain from it? Not just that you have a knowledge of how to click here, how to go here, go to Google. So what do you gain from using Google? From your statement, it gives you a knowledge that there is Google to use. Fine. So what do you use? My question is, what do you gain from using Google? Not how to use Google. Or Google, or whatever you can pronounce it as. So yes, please, you need to have a rethink, all right? Your phone is a form of computer and it makes learning easy as well for you. So if you are going by the fact that it makes learning easy, that's fine. What else does it do? And then your second point on your second body paragraph, the abuse exposes them to immoral acts and fraudulent activities. It's good, but your choice of words. The use of computer, however, has its negative consequences. Can you use another word instead of negative consequences? And then don't tell me that when the use of computer is abused, again, after you have told me there's negative consequences or disadvantages. Okay, so just go straight to the point, explain what it does. Part of the negative consequences, part of the disadvantages, is the fact that it exposes the youth to immoral acts. Okay, when it exposes, how does it expose them to immoral acts? They have access to pornographic materials on the internet. You are not able to monitor them to know what they learn. So sometimes they go on the internet and they see all of these things. Fraudulent activities, cyber crimes, becoming Yahoo because of the access to the use of computers for learning. I've seen some important points, but I've not seen anybody talking about the health hazards. Or does it not do anything? Blue light, the rays that goes into the eyes, especially for children. So if I am discussing this, I will discuss it from the side of the pandemic, okay, where people are now able to study, okay, they are not missing out, they are not losing, which is a good thing. They are not losing out. Their education is not totally on a halt or at a pause. And as a result of that, their health is not, they are not protected. This is because the light from the computers they use, from the phones that their eyes are exposed to, can damage the retina and cause blindness in the future. Another aspect is what? Excessive exposure to this radioactive light can also cause some forms of cancers. Another disadvantage is what again? The fact that it puts some people at a disadvantaged position, because not everybody can access computers. So it makes them, they leave them behind. Some children are left behind. For instance, in Nigeria, some private schools were able to do the online teaching with parents and their children. And by the time these children resume back to school, they just continue from where they stopped. But those schools that were not able to do it, the children will be left behind. They will have to go back to where they stopped that time. At the end of the day, these ones will be easily promoted, and they do understand what they are doing. Meanwhile, even if you push these people ahead, they have missed out a certain or a very important stage in the course of their studying. And then it puts them in a disadvantaged position when they are made to face the other people that were able to gain during this period from the online learning. What other disadvantage? Not everybody is able to afford computers. What about cost? It's expensive, isn't it? It's expensive to buy these devices. It's expensive to maintain them. It's expensive to keep them running, electricity, to charge them and all of that. So cost, data, it involves money. It's not that affordable, so it's a disadvantage. The consequence of that one is that people are not able to meet up. Okay? Another disadvantage or consequence of using the computer in excess or using it to learn is the fact that some people become redundant. They now just go to the internet for anything. People no longer make use of it. I was talking about the dictionary and it was looking like strange to some of us. People have now gone, far away from the books, from the physical reading. What about the classroom relationship that we have when we see ourselves physically? You need to think. You need to broaden, your horizon. Your thinking capacity has to increase. Stretch your dendrites here and there to pick this information from everywhere. That way, you'll be surprised that from this class, now if you say we should write, almost everybody will have 2 points that are kind of different. We will not all write the same thing. When you're talking about the advantages as well, you talk about not paying transport to school. I remember when online learning thing, the distant learning thing came up, and many nurses enrolled and started, and they only had to travel to Ife or once or twice for a semester, which was really, really easy. And then the Open University whatever as well, when it all started and nursing courses were, accepted as per that we can run online, we can do that program. Many people were able to queue in because sometimes in the middle of the night you come back from your shift and you are doing your assignment and you're submitting online, and then you only appear for your exam or for 1 or 2 tests in the course of the semester. So people now have access, they can now study courses of their choices without having to sit down in the class. People now combine learning with working. You combine learning with parenting. You can be at home while you're doing your job and you're watching your children as well, and then you're doing your assignments online. It has made life a little bit more easier. The transportation of going to school every day, you can bring that in. It has reduced it. You have saved that money. And then what about traveling? It has saved you traveling at all times that exposes you to hazard, especially the Nigerian road or the African countries with bad road networks and then accidents here and there. If you have to learn online, you are not exposed to these hazards anymore. Okay? What about overcrowding in a class, for example, when you are in the university in year 1, you don't even know who is who. People sit, I've seen a class where people sit, on the windows that are opened in the university just to grab a lecture. But now, if it's divided and people can study from their homes, for example, you can now have your time to yourself. Beside that, the overcrowding thing and all of the diseases and inhalation and transmission and all that is all reduced. So these are things you should think about when you see questions like this. And then you go to your conclusion. I finished discussing them. You go to your conclusion and you're talking about liking, okay, like we have talked about the hazards now, and you want to support that it is advantageous, okay? So if we have 2 points of the advantages, that it is easier, okay, and it is faster, or it makes research work easier as well. It's easier for you to learn from to study online or to study using the computers, using these devices, and what else? It's easier, number 1. Number 2 is what? You have access to more information online, different tutors online, different people have uploaded different things that you can use as well. Unlike the physical class where you have your teacher, whatever the teacher says, it's not even everybody that can buy textbooks. We didn't even mention that one. but you can just, with your data, you can just access, download materials and all. So if I have chosen to support it, what I will do is that I'll talk about the disadvantages first, or it's either I choose, there are two ways. Either I choose to talk about the advantages, then go to the disadvantages and say that's my opinion, or I will summarize both points and then give my opinion. If I'm summarizing both points and giving my opinion, I'll say in conclusion, okay, the use of these technological devices for studying has helped to make education easier, okay, and then access to information faster and quicker. In addition, or I'll say, okay, because it is easier and has made access to information faster. Then now the other side of it, I'll say, however, okay, part of the negative consequences is that it exposes one to some health challenges, okay, like blindness when exposed to excess rays from these devices, and also exposes the young ones to cyber crimes. Therefore, I am of the opinion that, you understand what I just did? You understand what I just did? Therefore, I am of the opinion that, so now you have mentioned the two sides, what you discussed, you have summarized your points, okay, but you have also said your opinion. So based on these disadvantages and disadvantages, I am saying that it should not be supported, or it should not increase, or I'm not supporting the fact that it's a positive trend. It's a negative trend to me. And when I say I am of the opinion that, I will also give my point because it does this and this and this. Do you understand? Full stop. That is the end of both sides and opinion. Please keep your opinion away from your body paragraphs. Uzoma, Vivian, Oluchi, and Christiana, Olajumoke, you people, well done. You succeeded in staying like you are, up from switching in between. And now, if I remove you from this class, I will not allow you to come back to my class. If you come back to the class and you have your video on, good. If you don't, I'll remove you ASAP. We are not children, we are adults. It's expected that we are above 18 years. And if you are above 18 years, one of the things that you should do is to listen and to obey instructions. Don't take things for granted because you can't have it with you all the time. Sometimes some of the instructions or some of the things that you take for granted, they will stand against you later on in life. Life is all about seed sowing and harvest. So let's be very, very careful, please. So, both sides and opinion, we have summarized, we have discussed everything. I'll just give a quick summary. All right? I'll just give a quick summary. We started by continuing from where we stopped last week. We had discussed earlier on the opinion essays. Today, we concentrated on both sides and opinion. Both sides and opinion, you are expected to do three things. You are expected to discuss one side of the argument, the other side of the argument, and to give your opinion. Following the structure of the writing task 2, like we said, the academic style of writing, you have an introduction, you have a body paragraph 1, you have a body paragraph 2, and you have a conclusion. Your introduction, we said, is made up of what? Specific statement and what? General statement. Your specific statement is your assignment, is your task, is what is expected of you. The reason why you're writing this exam. The reason why the thing that you are expected to write. Your general statement is the whole question prompt paraphrased. How do you paraphrase? Underline keywords identify keywords, underline them, get synonyms for them, and restate the statement using your own English, using your own words. All right? Using your own words. Christiana Okoye, can you hear me? Okay. Then you go to your first body paragraph. In the body paragraphs, remember I said you're doing 3 things. So it's 1 task per paragraph now. 1 task in paragraphs. First part of the task, please watch out for the first question that they have asked. Watch out for the first question they have asked. If they say discuss the causes, please make sure that your first body paragraph is talking about the causes. If they talked about the consequences first, make sure you're talking about the consequences first, so you can have a good score for coherence and cohesion. If you bring one side before the other, it's going to cut your marks short. You're not going to get your required band. It shows that your work is not organized, and it shows that you don't know what you're doing. So, write on the side they have mentioned first, and then on the other side. Okay? Just do everything, obey the instruction, do everything possible just to pass. All right? It's head to toe. It's head to toe. You're writing a report, and you're writing A to G, or you're using compassion. If you're writing A to G, where you have airway, breathing, circulation, and disability and all of that, you are to start with what? The head side. That's where the airway is. From feeling for breath, to counting, to watching the chest rise, okay, to all of that. You finish with that, then you go to the next one. If you're talking about the airways, you're talking about whether there's obstruction or not. Is this person taking in air? Okay, if he's not taking in air, are we going to give oxygen? Are there any obstructions? Can we remove any tight-fitting clothing? Are we going to expose the chest so we can go to what? Respiration, that's the breathing, and count and watch for chest rise. It's systematic. That's what they are doing. These people are organized. They just want us to be organized, and that's it. So please don't go and bring B before A. Don't bring C before B. Follow it from up to down. That way you score a good mark for your coherence and cohesion. It's very, very important. Your ability to arrange your work in a systematic, orderly manner gives you marks. Okay? So, first part you write, second part you go and write in your second body paragraph as well. Then the concluding part is where I just said that you will conclude by summarizing your point and then stating your opinion. Please keep your opinion away from your introduction or your body paragraphs. Do we understand? All right, thank you very much for today. It is time for questions.
Yes, ma, I have a question.
Amaka.
Ma, sorry, but today is very funny. Where I am is a school, so they don't have.
Allow me to finish. Okay, go ahead with your question.
Okay, ma. The question is, first, I think I was writing it down. For all essays, like the one we did last week, we wrote last week. When I sent the assignment, There I wrote my opinion at the introduction it was like, I'm of the opinion that so and so and so. So I want to ask, does it depend on the kind of question you're being asked? Like for instance, this other one, this both sides and your opinion. We are told that we shouldn't insert our opinion at the introduction.
Yep.
So I want to have a clear understanding.
Okay, that's number one question.
Yes, ma'am. Then where's the number? I cannot find where I wrote it, but I had another number 2 question as regards the oh God, where did I write it? Okay, ma'am. And let's deal with that one. Maybe when I see the other, I wrote it in a place. I'm moving around. I don't know.
We're looking for it while we are answering and taking other questions.
Okay.
Yes, all essays have their different introductions. It means you don't pay attention in the class. Because if you do, at the first, when I started, the first thing I said was that your answers are dependent on your question. Number one, your introduction is totally different, though similar with one thing, but different for all the 3 types of questions. Introduction for all forms of opinion essays are the same. That is, do you agree or disagree? To what extent do you agree or disagree? Do you think that the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? It's still your opinion. Their introduction is the same. Introductions to both sides and opinion essay, all of them, they are the same. Their introductions are the same. Questions that come under both sides and opinion will always ask you to discuss both sides and opinion. So the introduction is the same for whatever form of question. After you paraphrase the question prompt, then you say you are discussing both sides and your view as well. The introduction for all types of 2-way questions, they are the same. Whether you are writing causes and consequences, or you are writing causes and solutions, or you're writing anything at all, whatever they've asked you, advantages and disadvantages, the introduction is the same for all types of 2-question essays. In the introduction for opinion essays, you state your opinion as you are writing your introduction. Or this essay will discuss my view, my opinion. In the introduction for both sides and opinion, you keep your opinion away from the introduction. The reason is because you have 2 tasks to do here before your opinion. So your focus is that, hey, examiner, this question has asked me to discuss the 2 sides of this argument and to also say my opinion. So now, watch out for the 2 sides and watch out for my opinion. Simple. Then you go to your first body paragraph, pick one side, discuss it. Pick the second side in second body paragraph, discuss it. Then go to the conclusion, conclude by summarizing the points and then telling me your opinion. In opinion essays, your opinion is from the beginning, you state it, and then where you have more points is your opinion. But in both sides and opinion, you are having equal points for the equal parts, equal views. The 2 views have equal points. Do you understand, Amaka? Do you all understand? You have the same number of points in both sides and opinion for side A and side B. It's in your conclusion that you state your side, your own view, what you think. Okay? What you think. So you are now saying that although computers are good for learning because it does this and this and this, and it is bad because it does this and this and this. I am of the opinion that. So you summarize the points, the 2 points, and you give your view. But in your opinion essay, the first one we did, the one we did last week, you are going to have more points for the side that you support. You will only have a concession for the side you do not support. You will have a point called concession for the side you are not in support of. Just to show your examiner that even though I'm not supporting it, I also know something about it. But here you are telling your examiner that, look, I know something about it, I equally know something about it, but I have my opinion, and this is my opinion. Amaka?
The thing is that my network is bad. I will still have to go through the YouTube. I'm not getting the full this thing. So I will still have to go through the YouTube learning. It's really making me not happy. So like
you are not happy because you have misunderstood something. And instead of opening up your brain so you can now understand, you have decided to be more rigid. You have not allowed the brain cells to absorb what they should absorb. At the end of the day, you have blocked the pathways of this information, and so it cannot flow to you for cognition at all. It's simple logic. Now disabuse your mind of whatever you know already or whatever is confusing you, remove it from your mind, and then you now listen to the explanation, and it's like it's creating new pathways in your brain, and you will get the information. That's why it's very difficult to learn when you are under duress. Don't learn when you are under duress or when you are agitated, because it's a futile exercise. This is simple science. Okay? So Amaka, go through the learning again on YouTube and you will understand what we're saying. In fact, if I were you, you can fast forward it to the point when you asked your question and listen to the explanation. I think that will help you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
yes,
I know.
Ma'am.
Fine. And if there's anything, just private chat me.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
But I'm on night duty. Don't private chat me at night, Biko. Please.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
And don't private chat me in the morning because I'll be sleeping.
Okay, ma'am. I'll do it after the assignment.
Anyway, any other question? Beauty. How many times have you missed this class? I hope you are okay.
Yes, I'm okay, ma.
Okay, that's fine. Welcome.
Yes,
I
ma.
have
Thank
a
you so much.
question.
Okay, Esther, go ahead.
Please, my question is, I've already understand that when you are concluding, you should use conclusively or in conclusion.
Yep.
Now, when you are starting, because I've written this, the first paragraph, and I just started with like electronic device. How am I supposed to start it? Am I supposed to come with firstly? Or I just want to really know the one that is okay.
Is it for your conclusion, ma?
No, when you are starting the first paragraph,
Mm-hmm.
How am I supposed to start it? Because the one I wrote here concerning the one we did,
yeah,
I started with electronic device is a very important, but sometimes when I check other people's online, I'll see firstly, secondly.
And I did mention to you that if you are not asked to list, please don't use firstly, secondly. And I explained my reasons, didn't I? These things limit you. Well. They limit you. So don't avoid the use of those words. The truth is, when you listen to IELTS that people wrote, when you you go through IELTS that people wrote in Australia, in India, sometimes I'll be wondering, is it the same IELTS? Because if this is what these people are writing, then we are overwriting now. I discovered that from my personal research. Please don't quote me anywhere. They are strict and more strict with our marking than some countries. Do you know why? We claim that English is our basic language. To make it worse, they colonized us. And when they colonized us, they left a particular standard of education for us. And then we adulterated it. And things became really difficult for us. If we had improved on what they did before they left, they wouldn't be testing us. So they consider the fact that these other countries have their major language that they use. So English is strange to them. So whatever effort they are making in English, they like hyper, how do I say it? They like augment for them. Yeah. They augment for them, and they are milder, they take it slowly and easier with them. I work in the trust or in the UK, I mean, not even in my hospital, I've come across some nurses from some other hospitals. When they speak English, you will look at yourself and you'll be like, is it the same English? But they passed the exam. So how did they pass? Somebody is talking to you and he's doing like this and he's talking and you're like, what is he or she saying? So what am I saying? We need to put more effort than those people. If you look at what they are doing and you use it as a standard for yourself, my dear, you will fail the exam 10 times, you are still writing. I'm telling you the truth. That's why I avoid them as much as possible. I avoid the use of some of their whatever as my marking scheme. I don't use them to rate myself or to access myself. Even some of their speaking, if you go and look for speaking on YouTube and you see some of those ones from some of those countries, you'll be like, what is this person saying? There are grammatical error like this that is looking at you with eyes wide opened. And then you see they said it's a band 9 or band 8 speaking. Band 8, band 9, how? So yeah, that's it. You can't rate, you can't use them. My dear, just do all you can. Avoid listing. Don't list your points. Please don't list your points. Firstly, secondly, no. Instead, you can use phrases like, when you have stated one point, you want to state a second point. Instead of saying secondly, you just say in addition. Okay. Just say furthermore. You can, if you are stating point and you want to summarize, you can say moreover. Okay? You can use words like meanwhile instead of whereas. Instead of saying that first of all, no, then you need to say second of all. When you say first of all to start with, then you should get ready to say second of all and third of all and fourth of all for all your 4 points or 3 or 2 points. So please, let's use our cohesive devices more. Let's use cohesive devices more. And forget about listing. Disabuse your mind from listing. So if you want to start a statement like you have written a good introduction, for instance, and you want to go into your write-up. I used to tell us, I say, hit the nail on the head, bam. Technological devices are what? What are your points now, your reasons? Start with it, start with the first one. Then in addition to this point, then you say, for instance, you have given your instance, your example, and you go your way. Then you go to the other point, the second side. Then you can, because you are now going to be discussing the opposite, you can now say although, or however, or despite this the advantages, there are, you now continue with the disadvantages. There are, demerits. Okay? which includes this, and you have joined the 2 points together. So when you now get to your conclusion and you are doing in conclusion, comma, you state the reasons or the advantages and then the disadvantages. Therefore, I am of the opinion that that is it. Esther, do you understand better now?
Yes, very well.
Thank you. Okay. Any other question? No other question.
No, one more, ma. Please, ma, in the body, you didn't read my body, ma, to correct me. Because you didn't read my body, like the body paragraph I wrote.
I didn't read your body paragraph.
Yes, ma. I noticed this.
Amaka, how can you accuse me that I did not read your body paragraph?
I didn't hear it, ma.
Did I read everybody's body paragraph? If I'm reading everybody's paragraph and the introduction, when are we going to leave this class? It's going to be a 24-hour service. Eh?
Okay, just read my body. So, I mean, writing is my weak point. So that's why I just needed it to be.
The importance of technology use in this contemporary time is way beyond contention, as most sectors like agriculture, engineering, health, education, and many more have immensely benefited from this new development. How did they benefit? That's my reason. That's what I want. It's not that it's not beneficial to all of these sectors, but what has it done for the sectors? What did it do for the sector? How? Computer, technology. How has it helped them? We're talking about this thing in education, Auntie. Is education. Go back to my question. I'm not talking about the use in health or agriculture. So if you have something and you want to relate it to health and education and the agriculture, then you must give me that benefit that it is, of the benefit that education, agriculture and health are getting, the benefit they enjoy from this computer, how computer has improved them, how computer has improved their learning. But the truth is that it is in education we are talking about. So keep it. I said that we have a topic sentence. When you have a question, there's a topic sentence. The topic sentence is computer use in education, in learning. So why not restrict it to learning? I'm not talking about the use of computer in health. If I talk about computer in health, then we can talk about the diagnosis and the way people listen. They now see their patients, you know, like because of the pandemic, patients don't go to the doctors anymore. They can now diagnose from just merely seeing the patients on their iPads and on their computers and all of that. I can now talk about how people use the screens to do surgeries. Here, they use screens to do surgery, like they use it also for radiological procedures, you know, like going to do like endoscopy and the rest of them, and they are using computers to see all of that. If I'm talking about the use of computer in health, but I'm saying computer in education.
I continue reading the down part. It's not.
Okay. Learning has become more accessible than ever. So what I'll get from here, students globally now study with electronic devices. For example, learners do not have to travel. I gave that example. You stole that one from me. Learning has become more accessible. Amaka, you are going to keep us till 7 o'clock today. Oh. Okay. Okay, now listen. Now listen. I will not let you win me. I won't succumb because I will not want to approve something that I know if you write it, you will not pass or pass very well. I don't want runaway pass in writing 6.5. No, I want to see 8. I'll be very proud if I have somebody that has 8.5 or even a band 9. And the person says, I'm listening to Nurse Joy. You understand? I'll be a very proud teacher and I'll be happy. In fact, you see me, I will snap that result. I won't show your name. I'll go and post it on Facebook. I'll put it on our YouTube channel, you know, because I'll be very proud. So I'm not going to allow you write something that you can't get a good mark for. This is not correct. It's not absolutely correct. Your point is in there. That's the mistake we make. Your point is in there, but you have already started writing something that is making me look at it like you are going off point. First impression matters. It has made learning to become more accessible than ever before, which is a good point. Learning is more accessible now. From your phone, you know, just one tap and you have your whatever. I'm in the UK and I'm teaching you, you are in Nigeria, someone is in South Africa, someone is in Kenya, you know, we are in different, learning is much more accessible now, which is a very, very, you know, is a fantastic advantage, is a good idea, and is a positive trend that we're discussing. But you have hidden that point in there. What if I'm not patient enough to read it? Why not bring it out to be the first thing that you will talk about? Yeah? And then one main idea, this your main idea is not enough for a whole, see now, the whole of this write-up, this plenty writing that you did is only 1, 2. One line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 words. That is the main point there from all of the write-up. So you see what I'm saying? Okay, get your main idea, develop the main idea, and put in your example for me. That way you score your required mark. Do you understand?
Thank you.
Try as much as possible to restrict your writing to what you are asked. You are writing about your use in health, in agriculture, engineering, and education. I've only asked you about education. Write only in education. If I want in health, I will ask. The examiner will ask. So please restrict yourself to the question. Do according to what you are asked. Maintain your boundary. Don't go beyond what you are asked, because you won't get extra mark from that. And if you make mistake, they will still mark you for the errors that you committed if you were writing off point. Okay? Amaka is happy now, so we can end the class. Okay,
hello, ma.
Jumoke, yes, go ahead, please.
Thank you, ma. I sent my introduction twice, but I need your advice. You didn't correct any of it.
Nowadays, the use of electronic gadgets for educational purposes has risen dramatically. Full stop.
Okay.
Some people think, must it be the same some people think that I said that it has beneficial effects, that it is of a great benefit? Why not? Why not use that one? Okay, that it is beneficiary. Yeah, you can use that word. While others feel it comes with so many disadvantages. Great. This essay will discuss both sides of the argument and give my view. Perfect. So I'll give you 60%. You need to work on this. Work on the first side. Know when to put in your punctuations. Remember, I did mention our punctuations in the band descriptors. If you don't punctuate well, you lose marks for it. When you have a full stop, remember the next thing starts with a space, then a capital letter. When you have comma, you can continue your writing with your small letters. Okay? And then when you write, read it again so that you can, you know, sometimes when you read your own writing, you say, why did I leave it like that? You'll be able to reconstruct what you have written. And you need to keep practicing these things. Keep writing it. Don't say, if I know this, okay, computer in education, okay, what does it do? I know the point now. It's faster and it's easier. Is this, and then there are disadvantages. Cybercrime, wait, children, pornography. Okay, now I know this topic. You don't know it though. You need to write it so that you know where you are wrong and where you're right. Is that okay? Any other question? Any other question, please? Oyi, you have been raising your hand since. Now unmute and ask your question.
Sorry, the same question that the last speaker just asked.
So are you clear now?
I forwarded my introduction, but you didn't go through it, ma.
It's like you people are looking for more than 2 hours. But you won't come on time. That is the problem. We started the class like 15, 20 minutes before many of you joined. There has been a rise in the utilization of electric devices for studying. Wow. Full stop. Full stop, please. Then capital letters, some persons are of the view, please. They are of the view that it is a good trend. It is a good development, that it has advantages, that it is a good thing, that it is commendable. Yes, that's the word. While others accept, they didn't accept it because they are arguing. This is an argument. You need to be careful. While others assume or think or believe that it is a bad change. No, it should be a bad development, or it should be a disadvantage, or it has side effects. You get the point that it has side effects. This essay will discuss both sides of the opinion and my view and give my view. Okay, yes, acceptable. So now you've got your correction. You're happy? Happy? Yes, he's happy. Even if we didn't say it. I'm saying it on his behalf. He's happy. Okay. Any other question? Beauty. Beauty, you are the latest comer in this class. Not late comer, you are the latest. Is there any word like that? Can imagine. Okay, so go ahead.
Sorry, ma. One of the reasons why I've been missing the classes is the notification for the class. I check every day in the WhatsApp group. Like the other time I sent a message in the group that if we are having class that day, I checked, no response. But later, the next day, and I saw that there was class that same day. I was so...
You're not on the Telegram group anymore.
I'm there, but nobody responded to that. There will be class today until that was class. Maybe I don't know the time for the class.
Now,
minutes to the class, and I missed
to the hearing of everybody
like
in the class. Sorry, darling. To the hearing of everyone in this class, for the purpose of learning and convenience for all of us, the classes are for 5 to 6. Whether I am on a night shift or I am off. If I am off, I will have to do 1 or 2 things in the morning, then schedule it. I go for Saturdays especially, I have other activities if I'm off. Tuesdays, the same thing. When I'm on a night shift, I used to do it in the morning, but I discovered that in the course of the class, sometimes I am feeling sleepy. You can't get the best from me when I'm sleepy. Number 1. Number 2, after the class at 11, 12, I get to lie down, and the next thing is my kids are returning from school by 2 or 3 or 4, and I don't have enough time to sleep. And then I go to work, exhausted and sleep-starved. So I decided that when I get back from work, if I'm on a night shift, come to the house sometimes 9, I sleep until I have an alarm, 1:32, wake up, sort myself, and then do the class from 3 to 5. And I know I've put in this allowance for excuses, for discussions, and for all. Latest, by 6 o'clock, I start preparing to go back to work. If I am off and I do the class, it gives me time to rest and to also attend my church services sometimes in the evenings, because the lockdown is over here, but many of the churches are yet to start their evening services except for Sundays. So I still go in for my online church in Nigeria, because that's what it keeps me like I'm home, makes me feel like I'm home. So I really don't want to lose that fellowship for the sake of this whatever. At the end of the day, if I'm not happy, I can't give you the best. I won't joke with you in class, and you may not understand what I'm trying to explain, and I may be agitative, and at the end, probably, maybe I will say I can't continue with the class. That's the reason why I have decided that classes is 3 to 5 p.m. Every time we have class is 3 to 5 p.m. If, for instance, there's a need for a change, on days when I'm on a long day, on Saturday and on Tuesdays, it is either we reschedule the class to another day when I'm off in the week and the time will be the same, or we change the time for the class and we will let you know. So know it, class is 3 to 5. Every time we will have a class, and if there's a change, we will let you know. Now ask your question.
No, ma, that is what I wanted to clarify. That is my question.
Okay.
Because I get to see this one because I was trying to watch the previous videos on YouTube. Then I saw that I saw this one. Then that was how I got this one.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Please tell others, tell yourselves, announce it on your walls. Anybody that is interested, the class is 3 to 5. And on days where we have to have a change, when we need to have a change, I will let you know. Okay?
Okay, ma. Yes, ma. Thank you.
Any other questions? So we can go. Which assignment? There's no assignment in this class. I've done the class work.
No, the last one, ma'am. The last one I have to write and send to Telegram. It has not been marked, ma'am.
You sent your work. I saw something on Telegram. Was that you? I thought I have responded. Have I not? I'll check it and respond.
We were like 3 people. We didn't get any response, ma'am.
I'll check them. I'll go back there. Sorry about that.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Madam Vivian.
Please, ma, you did not check my correction.
Hey, okay, let me see. Sorry, ma, I was writing my body paragraph. But I didn't even see where is the correction? Correction. In recent times of technology advancement, studying with electronic. Okay, so why not say in these days of technological advancements?
Okay, ma. Okay, ma.
Thank you very much. Studying with electronic devices is on the increase. It's on the increase. Full stop. Then a lot of persons believe it's an advantageous approach, whereas the rest see it as detrimental. While others see it, yeah?
Okay,
let's say we discuss both views as well as my opinion. That's fine. Okay, so just effect the correction. No more questions.
Thank you.
We have come to the end of the class. Thank you very much for attending the class today. Keep sharing it. And as you are telling people to join the class, tell them to have their videos on. I'm not really happy with what people are doing with following the instructions. When they said when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. We have tried to make our purpose known. It's free of charge. Does not mean that we don't know what we're doing. When we have rules, any house that does not have rules and people misbehave, laissez-faire kind of leadership does not end well. I wouldn't want to be taking people out, especially when people are coming for the first time. But the problem is that we don't read instructions. We are very, so when you want to hide anything from a black man, put it in a book. Many of them just go straight to those links and click them. They don't read the instructions that follow. I wrote it there specifically that if you can't have your videos on for whatever reason, don't bother joining our Zoom classes. But they will come to the Zoom class and they will not say any reason why they can't have their video on. And then when you take them off, they say just Zoom class because they teach IELTS, they come up person for class. Please, let's be very, very careful. It's not good. It's not good to take people for granted. Relationships are built on value. If you don't value people, if you don't value what they do for you or with you, there's no need relating with them because it hurts. I'm not bothered. I'm not worried. At highest, I'll just go and remove you and that's all. I don't care. But I'm just concerned that you may not get maybe you needed to hear something that I will say. Maybe just one line, one statement that I'll make would have corrected what you already know. Many people know things. There's nobody that wants to write IELTS that has not gone to one place or the other in search of information for IELTS. So some people have come across the wrong info and they just need that one kicked away from their brain. Maybe you just needed a statement that will help you get rid of the wrong statement that will give you a low band, and then you are removed because of disobedience, and you can't have access to that, and you go and write and you fail. And they say it's this and it's that. Please, let's obey instruction. This country where you are planning to come to, if they say write A, but let one side of the A go down small, more than the other side, you have to do it like that. You follow instructions to the core. That's what I mean. So if you don't follow instructions, if you are the type that like to do things on your own, your PIN, after getting the PIN, it's not to get the PIN in the UK that is the problem, it's keeping the PIN that is the problem. In Nigeria, we commit errors and we go free. In fact, nursing council don't even know many of us. They don't know us. They don't even know whether we die, we exist. I have a friend who died a few years back, and recently council sent a message to her line. So you can imagine, council is not even aware whether you are alive. As long as you are renewed, if you don't renew your license, they'll be waiting for you. One day you will come and renew it. Is when you are doing update and nothing is happening, or finally somehow 20, 15 years, they will now know that this person may not be alive, and they won't even find that it does not concern them. But here, few weeks, a month plus, to when I needed to pay for my PIN, to pay for something, my registration, you pay first year, pay second year, third year, you need to do some courses before you maintain the PIN again. A few weeks, about a month plus, they sent me an email. I didn't respond on time. It was followed by a call. They have my contact. They will call you. They will send you an email. If you don't respond, they will call your employer to tell them that you are not qualified to work because your PIN is outdated or because something is wrong. The employer you filled, if at all you filled one, they will keep sending you messages. When you call them, they call you back for feedback of how they received your last call. They send messages, they monitor you, they know you. Anywhere you fill in your license number, like we call it in Nigeria, it appears on their system. They verify it, unlike in Nigeria or in many African countries. So please, you need to listen to instructions. As you are disabusing your mind of certain things, let's disabuse your mind from disobedience, from late coming, from decision making on your own. In Nigeria, a patient has one thing and you are making a decision. Before you know it, you set up IV line. Before you know it, you are the one you are the God that is on duty. You are the God of the shift. Here is multidisciplinary. What is the doctor saying? What is the part of the physio here? What is the dietitian saying about this diabetic woman? What is the diabetic specialist nurse doing? What can we do to make it better? What are the healthcare assistants doing about this? What can we do? What is this woman has a wound. Okay, what about the tissue viability nurses? Have we involved them? What can they do? What is their part? Here you must involve everybody in everything, and it's all on your head. The nurse is in the middle of the healthcare system. So you are communicating, or you have dendrites to listen from doctor, from physio, from dietitians, from OT, from everywhere. So if you are not careful, my dear, you will lose PIN in this country. And it's very, very depressing to come to the UK and work for 1, 2, 3 years, and then they send you back to your country. It's a shame. Because that is the time many people are beginning to settle down. You come to the country 2 years, 3 years, you are now beginning to settle down. You know, you are now able to invest back home. You are now able to plan for your own house. You are now able to do things, and then they come and tell you that why? Because of disobedience. It's very, very bad. So please, let's pray, let's plan, let's work on ourselves. Many of us are perpetual latecomers, especially those of us that are in senior nursing positions. We are seeing what is happening in nursing now. They just sent one away. They protested and they sent her away from her office because she was not supportive to nurses. That's what is going to be happening in the healthcare system now, by the grace of God. So please be very, very careful. Please be obedient. Please, for the sake of the class. I know many of you are older than me, and then you'll be like this small girl. For the sake of your passing IELTS, listen to this small girl, pass your IELTS, then later you can knock the small girl if she disturbs you. My own is just for you to pass IELTS. That's my aim. Once you pass the IELTS and we're able to support you to, you know, like relocate if you want to relocate, or come for your to further your education if your own is for school or anything, that's just a fulfillment in it. Nothing more. There's nothing more. Just realizing that you are able to help somebody fulfill destiny. You play your part in somebody's destiny fulfillment. That's all that life is about, you know. That's just all. So please tell them to have their videos on, you know, listen to the lessons, do the assignments, participate. It helps a lot. When you speak out in the class, it helps you. Okay? I've preached enough. Have a good night, everybody. Rest well. Some of us, our days have just started. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma.
Thank you, ma.
Yes, see you on Saturday.
Thank you, ma.